was coming out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna pre-order it, which was kind of weird because I've never played a Far Cry game before, or even had any interest in it, but I pre-ordered it for some reason in like the summer of whenever it came out, or maybe it's the fall, summer or fall, and I just played it for the next like 6 months. It's like the only game I played. I literally beat it like 12 times. It holds a close place in my heart, this game. And so it's gonna be pretty biased. So if you want a actual review of the game, go find it elsewhere because you will not find it here. This is, my opinion. And I've played quite a bit of video games, and it's just my opinion of my overall enjoyment of the game. And I think I'm gonna group this and a few other reviews into a classics series. Games that I just find solidified as historical pieces to me. And I'm going to do a little more of these quote-unquote classics, and then I'll go into more contemporary games. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright, so I apologize for the downgrade in the production value, but I had to make some sacrifices in time, and to truth be told, I forgot how I did it the first time, because when I rewatched my video to get artistic inspiration for this one, I was like, how the heck did I do that? So I just had to put it together on a photo editing software, and I didn't want to buy premium, so I had all the trash fonts, so then this is the one that I chose, and I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool. But anyway, so some of this stuff is the same from the Battlefield 1 review. I'm not going to get into content, or actually I will get into this stuff, because it's different for every game, well, most games. So when I say the plot, I'm not just saying the plot, also I'm going to include conflict and resolution. The real reason I didn't have conflict on here is because I ran out of space. So yeah, it's a little lazy on my part, but you're not making a video as I am. So next up we have characters. I think I'll go into characters more in depth in the gameplay version because there's well, in this game they're called gods for hires, but they're like companions you can bring on to help you fight. And then challenges, that's self-explanatory. Content in an open world game. This has a different, it has more things to entail to it. I mainly mean side missions and random events, things like that. Stuff to keep you engaged in the world. Ending, self-explanatory. And setting this, again, does this world feel alive? Is it accurately portrayed? In this case, it's middle of nowhere, Montana. Stuff like that. And it will also incorporate, I'll probably have random events in this, because, just what makes the world feel alive, that kind of thing. I guess I'll go over gameplay now. Okay, so to get into the plot, by the way, peep, the gameplay in the background, it's not mine, but I remember watching this dude, he's hella good at So let me think about it right now. I mean, it's pretty good. I think it does a good job at wrapping itself up. I'm trying to think if there's any holes in the plot. I mean, yeah, there's some stupid ass shit. Like, why don't they just kill you? And I guess I'll explore that in themes. Actually, I don't know if I had a theme. Check mark. Let me go check that out. So I don't. So I guess I'll just include theme in plot. So, oh, and I also gotta do conflict and resolution. So, the theme is it's about morality, I think, and if I'm remembering correctly, I remember watching a 40-minute, no, an hour, a two-part hour video, so 2 hours of the theme of this fucking game, and I remember it being, yeah, like morality of, like, how are you of high moral standard, you're killing and shit like that, and I thought, I did not do a lot of prior refreshing, as you can tell, to this game. But if I remember correctly, I remember being like, damn, that's a good way of putting it. Because, like, there are a lot of interesting plot. Oh my god, I'm just remember the Jacob Seed. The Jacob Seed story. Like, storyline in that one is hella good. I guess that's swearing, because this is not what you're supposed to do in reviews. But yeah, the Jacob Seed storyline is a good resolution. And the thing about the conflict is you don't even know what the conflict is until the resolution, which is crazy to me. That's a great, like, you know there's a conflict, but you don't truly know what it is until the resolution is done. Which, I don't know, I can't think of any other stories that do that. But, and then the Faith story, I mean, that one was kind of, you know, basic video game story. And then John Seed, his was textbook, but I mean, the Jacob Seed one. Jacob Seed's a great character. It was complemented by a fantastic story arc. So, yeah, those are my opinions on the plot. And I guess the overlooming plot. Yeah, I think it wraps itself up pretty well. Next up, we got characters. So for our protagonist, it is a silent character, which is not very good. I don't like that decision. This was my first Far Cry, so, you know, that's all I knew. I didn't know that there's a big deal about about the personality of the protagonist, but obviously that's not what the Far Cry series is known for when it comes to character-wise. But it was kind of a bummer to have a silent protagonist. They wanted to be able to incorporate player choice into having a personalized experience, but you don't even get to see your character. So I think it was that big a deal. But when it comes to the villains, I think Joseph Seed is a better villain than Bacon Man. Obviously, there's never been a villain better than Voss. That dude is goated. But I do feel like Joseph Seed is better than Bacon Man. I mean, charismatic wise, and plus, there's an argument. Obviously, I'm not gonna argue Jacob Seed is better than Bacon Man. that's it. I like kind of know the villain, but all I know is there's malaria. But anyway, so for the villains, I think those are good, and for what would you call it? The supporting cast, I guess. I mean, we got the sheriff. He's kind of cool. Sheriff Whitehorse is kind of cool, but the two other deputies, those guys are losers. I didn't like those guys very much. And then like the townspeople, the pastor was cool. Nick Rye was cool, and I'm pretty much only gonna go over Guns for Hire. Or I'll go into like some other like mission givers, like Kirk Drummond Senior. I thought he was pretty funny as portraying the stereotypical Republican. He was a good character. He was a good criticism. Yeah, there's a name for what his character is, but I don't know what it is. Herc sucks, just like in Far Cry 3 and 4 and Primal. He sucks. Hey, Herc. And if I haven't said the other characters, they are forgettable. Oh, Sharky. He's also a bum. I hated Sharky too. So yeah, Sheriff Whitehorse is cool. Pastor Jerome's cool. Nick Rye is cool. And those three characters are good characters, but the rest are just forgettable. And so on to challenges. I thought the challenges were kind of underwhelming, to be honest. I beat the game on Veteran a few times, and Veteran is kind of hard, but not really. And there's like challenges throughout. It's just like get 10 kills with a dynamite and stuff like that. So they're not very intricate, or a cause for dedication as some other games, and I don't think that's 100%. So the challenges are a little underwhelming, I would have to say. Alright, on to the content portion of the game, and by the way, this is my gameplay in the background, so, just to show that I'm no rookie, I'm no small fish. I restarted all the outposts, so, whatever. So content, what does this include? It includes what can I do, side quest, main quest, how does the game keep me occupied, and for the most part, I think it's pretty good. It's what you would expect from a Far Cry game. You can do stealth, there's plenty of story missions to do, there's plenty of side missions to do, you can fish, you can hunt, although those are, again, underwhelming. Usually when I think of fishing and hunting, I think the model to do this from is probably not games that dedicate their core gameplay to these features, but say like a hunting game or a fishing game, but rather an open world game and that incorporates these. And I think the open world game that does this the best is obviously Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, it may not be fair to compare Red Dead and Far Cry, because Red Dead didn't come out yet, Red Dead didn't come out yet when Far Cry was released, but still, I think Red Dead has a great hunting mechanism, or game mechanic, that I think all games should look towards for inspiration in their future games. The fishing is pretty good. It's an alright mini game. I think, again, it's not supposed to be very hard. It's just supposed to way you can get some quick cash or beat the record, the state record, which is extremely easy. But I did it in like a day or like 40 minutes to get all the boss. There's a bunch of random encounters. I completely forgot. I apologize. Which you can get the liberation points, which I was gonna get doing progression, but touch on it here. Basically, to fight the boss, you need to fill up a liberation bar, which you fill it up by doing missions, side quests, random encounters, and bring outposts, liberating outposts. And there's checkpoints along it. So once you get like a third of the way, the leader will kidnap you, and you'll have to escape from them. And then once you fill it 100%, you can fight the leader of the region, and it's kind of cool. I don't think another Far Cry's done that. It was kind of cool. So, but yeah, random encounters were implemented good. I would like to see a little more variation, because it was kind of tiring to just walk 5 meters and then a hostage van passes me, and then I walk another 5 meters and then another hostage van passes me, and I feel obligated to free those 2 people in there. And I don't know, I just thought it was a little overwhelming with the spawn rates, but underwhelming in variation, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think that covers it for content. It's enough to keep you occupied. I think it's a 10-hour. I saw some guy beat it in 10 hours on YouTube, but I don't know if he better on it. I don't know. Maybe he just did story missions or something. But I don't know. It took some guy 10 hours, which I'm very bad at gauging that, like how long that is compared to, I don't know. Going on the ending now. So there's 3 endings. There's one where in the beginning, if you don't do anything, you beat the game, quote unquote, even though you don't notice, are there game breaking glitches, or are there immersion breaking glitches, and progression, how can I make my character stronger, or what am I working towards? So that's what we got for gameplay. So I'm gonna hop into story elements right now. First up, we got gunplay. How do the guns feel? Well, to be frank, they don't feel very powerful. I mean, the Browning does. Like the LMGs do. Like the guns that you would hope would feel heavy, do feel heavy. RPGs, blah 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 blah. Like heavy weapons, they feel pretty heavy. But in comparison to other games, they're still a little underwhelming. The assault rifles and submachine guns, it feels like you're shooting pellets. Like, I'm not saying the time to kill is long, because it's not. Time to kill is pretty short. But what I'm saying is, like, it's just the shot feels underwhelming. Like, there's not an oomph behind it. Maybe it's because I've been playing with suppressors for so long, but I remember feeling underwhelmed since day one. Like, really, this is the gun. So, and the recoil is kind of I'm trying to think. 50 cal, or not the 50 cal. The recoil is manageable. It's nothing too realistic, and the gunplay isn't very realistic. I think it's more of supposed to be there to be there. So, yeah. Another movement. Again, I think this just gets you from point A to B. I was never very proficient in it, but judging from the gameplay from the other guy, the guy from before, both dudes, because I showed two different guys' clips, they seem to know how to use it the best, but even then, you know, you can slide, you can, I mean, I guess you can grapple, but even then, it's like, okay, you can do a sprint for 30 seconds and a jog for the rest of it until you take a rest. So, you know, it's not anything amazing, but it's an open world game, so it's, well, this game came out 2018-ish, I think, 2017 maybe, and the only other game I have to compare it to is Fallout 4, which I think came out like 2016 or maybe 2015. It's the only other open world game I really played from that time. And that's how it was in that game too, so there wasn't any sliding, and the sliding in this game sucks. It's not very good. Like, you rarely use it. But on a DLC, there's 3 DLCs in this game. There was Hours of Darkness, was Vietnam, the Zombie DLC, and the Martian DLC. I'll talk about the Martian DLC first. That one was a cool concept, I guess. The story was lame as hell, though. It's a pretty stupid plot, but I think it's, you know, the DLC, they don't give a shit. The zombie one, I think that was just the developers having fun with their character, the movie guy. They just wanted to make an arcade shooter. I think they were having fun, so I think it was very funny. Excuse me. But the Hours of Darkness, that was amazing. I loved Hours of Darkness. Probably because it was a Vietnam thing, and I'm interested in that period of history, but I don't know. Darkest Darkness was pretty fun, and it was cool. I was linear, but it was a linear open world. I thought that was kind of cool. It was like a one big. I don't know. It was cool. And then on to customization. I think I touched on this briefly before. You can customize your guns with like 7 paint jobs. You can put you can put a few different scopes on them. You can put 2 different suppressors to do the exact same thing, but one's a cylinder and one's a block suppressor. And you can put an extended mag, which has no visual change. Some of the skins are cool, and sometimes you can just buy variants for guns, which just come with a paint job that you can't change. As for character customization, first of all, you rarely see their face. But there's a wide variety of character customizations that you can do. You can get headwear, handwear, upper body, lower body, and then an outfit. And I think that's it. But I don't know, it's pretty surprising because the only time you see your character is when you die. That's the only time it goes into third person and in the photo mode. But I don't know. I think customization was kind of pointless in this game. It was just to give you this false sense of player choice and player variability and stuff like that. And then the graphics, this is where I think this game shines. I think there's been a few games that have had better graphics than this. I think this whole time you've just been watching, well, only for this element, for like the past 7 minutes, you've been watching me just walk around the world of Far Cry 5, Hope County, Montana. And it's beautiful. It's the most beautiful game I've played. I think it's better looking than Red Dead. And I would say Red Dead's graphics are better. And I would also probably say Modern Warfare 2019's graphics are better, but again, those games came out before. I think when this game came out, it was the best looking game to date, and I still think it's better looking than most current games. It's definitely better than Cold War. It's better than Fallout 76. I mean, it's better than a lot of games that came out today. So, yeah. Glitches. My biggest glitch that I've had a problem with is sometimes I will try to pull my chute at the last minute and I will successfully pull it, but it will phase me through the ground, so I just fall into an abyss, and that gets me kind of annoyed. But there's also like weird NPC glitches and stuff like that. But nothing really notable. There's been a few like physic glitches which are funny. Those aren't game breaking. But the parachute one, that gets me pretty annoyed every time. Last but not least, we have progression now. Can I make my character stronger? There's a pretty wide variety of perks, and even when you get, there's a lot of perks. Now I'm thinking about it. I think there's like, if I were to guess, I would say there's like 60 perks in the game. That's just coming out of my memory. And even when you get all the perks, you can keep upgrading a certain few like 50 times, and it's pretty like, that's like the dedication. I wish there was a challenge where it's like max out every perk. That would probably be impossible, or you'd have to put at least like a week into the game just to get that done. But was intricate enough. I think there could have been a little more time spent on John and Faith Seed's story arcs. Characters are given 8. I thought the NPCs were lame. Well, not the guys like the common person were lame. But they were all pretty much criticisms of modern America. Challenges of 4, underwhelming, but they were there. Content in 8, there's a lot of shit to do. Ending in 9, it's very well. And 10, setting a 10, it's by far my favorite setting in every video game ever. Gunplay, I gave it a 6. Again, underwhelming. I feel like there's a lot of budget cuts in this game. Moment 5, underwhelming. DLC 8. The Mars DLC and the Zombie DLC. Zombie DLC was just fun, and the Mars DLC, is there. Both pretty good, but the Hours of Darkness, fantastic. Customization of 5. I'm not gonna really explain that. Graphics at 10. Greatest game to date. Well, its date. Glitches a 7. Nothing game breaking besides that parachute one that I can recall. So, as of recording this is the last, because there was a wide variety of perks snippet that I did while recording, and I forgot a key gameplay element to this game, which is stealth. Which I would rate probably a 7. I think the stealth in this game is a little too basic, and it's a little too buggy. When I mean buggy, I mean like, I miss a shot